What's going on, YouTube? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Welcome to Texas Podcast. Thank you for all the day ones, all the new subscribers, all the likes, all the feedback, all the comments, all the I guess the help. Thank you so much. Uh I think Young Blood wanted to get back up on here and say a few things, or he wanted to touch up on a certain thing. We're not gonna be here too long, just see what's going on real quick.
Full of drugs, prostitution.
I called a lieutenant immediately and then moved David to a cell to himself. He didn't have a cell. He had to be out in the public with everybody. But they put him in a cell to protect him like that. And they moved him from that dorm to another place. So David was recuperated and was much happier.
I hope that those kind of experiences, uh, being pimped out and the homosexual activity and such as that he's had to deal with in there, I hope that's something that when he gets out, he can put behind him, uh, not have to talk about it or bring it up and just, let it die in his past and, kind of start fresh from day one when he gets out and create a new respectable life.
Because, I never had a father, you know what I'm saying? But I always wanted a father. I like turning guys out. As far as being turned out already, especially by family members, I kind of felt sympathy for them.
I was real hard.
I tell him to turn around. So he moves slightly. I tell him to turn around again. He still doesn't want to turn all the way around. So I said, bitch, if I have to tell you to turn around one more time, I'll break your jaw. So he turns around.
He make him come out his clothes. First, he reluctant about coming out his clothes, so he slap him again. So when he slap him this time, he gonna come up out his clothes. He go to feeling on him. He go to feeling on him.
I squeeze his ass cheeks, 2 handfuls. Uh, he tenses up, you know. So I started to pull his shirt off of him. I give him the grease. And I tell him to put some on his finger, stick it in his ass, and you know what I'm saying, kind of like fuck himself, to loosen himself up, because I know he had never been penetrated before. It was his first time. And also, you know what I'm saying, just an old penitentiary trick that I learned from some old convicts. If he screamed rape, you know what I'm saying, he had grease on his fingernail. So he greased his own self up. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna basically lie and tell him I've been fucking him. He's been my boy. Hell, they gonna buy it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go to the extreme and get 4 or 5 other guys that lie and say I've been fucking him too, been taking care of him. He's been my boy. So I get the grease. I grease my penis up. I'm saying, so I lay him down on the bunk, flat on his stomach. So I'm playing, rubbing in his ass. You know what I'm saying? Squeezing his ass cheeks. Rub my fingers up and down his back. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to talk him through it, tell him to relax. You know what I'm saying? He still pleading, begging me. You know, like I said, I didn't care to hear any of that. You know what I'm saying? I had made up my mind. So I go to fucking him. You know what I'm saying? Slowly at first, you know what I'm saying? And try to loosen him up. So he's groaning and, you know what I'm saying, moaning and telling me how it hurts. So, you know, I bag out a little bit. Just tell him to relax, breathe, you know what I'm saying? So I'm fucking him. At this time, my partner, my dog, he at the door. You know what I'm saying? He's standing in front of the cell. So he's like, man, come on, man. Goddamn. Hurry up, man. I want to get straight to you. I said, well, come on.
Hey, extra, just in case. I gave him one. I think they gave him another one.
He greased himself up. He shows him no mercy. He fucks him for real. You know what I'm saying? So I had to tell him, hold up, man. You know, slow down, chill out, man. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to hurt him for real. You know what I'm saying? And you have to go to the hospital, and you know what I'm saying? He's gonna automatically have to say what happened. You know what I'm saying? So
He have sex with him first. Then I have sex with him. Then he have sex with him. I have sex with him. Then he have sex with him. And then that was the end of it.
after this, you know, he finishes, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So boy gets on the shit jacket. You know what I'm saying? Use the restroom. So I fuck him. He, you know, cleans himself up or whatever. He's back on the bed. So I go and finish up. He said, I didn't finish it first. You know what I'm saying? So I fuck him and I come off. I get my due. Next day, you know what I'm saying? He goes to SEG. In prison, that's lockup.
So I'm like, in my heart, I'm like, damn, we through. We done got us a rape case.
But now he doesn't tell the folk that he was raped or had been penetrated or nothing. He tells the people that he was assaulted by some other inmates who he couldn't identify. So they place him in segregation. Me and my partner, we go to the lieutenant who put him in SEG, and we explain the situation as far as he was a member of our gang and we beat him out. And he didn't want to tell them
What's going on, young blood?
like our names and you know what I'm saying?
I'm here, man.
The lieutenant, he bought it.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, bro.
The little white guy over there to the
Okay,
shit
all right. That wasn't so bad. I say, man, I had told him, I said, man, the internet finna go back out soon. I told him, well, let's go live.
Nah, but it's cool, man. I mean, we come up here for a little bit, see what's going on.
Okay, then. There's something to do put on that. I saw, oh, man, I think it was Doro or somebody say, man, you know you guilty.
I really don't be watching their lives, or I mean, I really
No,
don't.
I don't, but I click on it, but I don't get no kind of support on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, what were they talking about it? Were they getting mad? I mean, what?
Man, Mark was going off, but man, he don't care what nobody say. He was mad, and Fifth Avenue was saying like, just calm down, man. Yeah, they were talking about Jonathan Short and all this, and let's calm down, man. I'm like, man, Jonathan Short ain't did nothing. They even was talking about Jonathan Schwartz's wife. It's like, yeah, man, them girls had me just saying things I ain't want to say. I'm like, no, you said it though.
Exactly.
Exactly, that came out your mouth. Come on, man. Who we got on watching?
We got Young said Zed. It says June 5th says you're a fake blood.
June 5th. I never said I was a blood. I said I was a young blood. That's what they call me, young blood.
I don't think they understood that. I don't think they. I think they're still uh in the prison politics and gang politics.
Yeah. He should have came up and said, hey, he's a fake young blood. I go by young blood. That's me, young blood. Get it right, Fifth Avenue.
So Lieutenant said, son, I'm gonna let you out of SEG, but I'm not gonna let you out today. I'm gonna let you out Monday. This was on a Friday.
And when he go to lockup, Mark sending him all kind of cigarettes, making sure he got everything he need in lockup, making sure he got his cosmetic, making sure he got something to smoke, making sure he got coffee, making sure he got food, because in lockup you can't have all these things.
So Monday come around, he gets out of SEG. I see him. When I see him, he said he's in the Bible. He wants to live for God. By my grandmother raising me, or tried to raise me in a Christian environment. I believe in God. I'm not gonna.
You see, it's these comments.
No, you don't.
It's these comments that make us.
Uh-huh.
It's like these comments are comments that instead of just leaving it alone and trying to accuse other
Uh-huh.
people of wrongdoing, this don't be this shouldn't surprise you right here. You know what I mean? Because they call me everything in the book, and they're just mad because they don't have no substance anymore. I mean, everything he's saying is his own doing, young blood.
It's on doing, man. They keep saying trying to make young blood a predator. Hey, man, look here. Like I told them, lies on figures and figures don't lie. Look at it, man. Hey, self-conviction. That's
That's
what
all.
it is, self-conviction. And they see it now.
They see it. Let me play. Let me.
I told him, I said, hey man, I understand that. But in my mind, I truly wanted him to be with me. You know what I'm saying? But I said, if you're gonna live for God,
Bless
and I
Thank you.
say, hey man,
Thank you.
whatever you need, or if you need me or anything, you know what I'm saying, I'll be there for you. Okay, so
And you know what, Noel?
he goes and get baptized, and it's
Go ahead, young blood.
Now, see, that what got me because, see, when I first went in, the sisters always, they used to take care of the men. But if the game had flipped around so bad, when I got back up the line, so I'm like, man, the men, they taking care of the boys now. So it have been flipped, the boys telling the men what to do. Like you said, he went to lock up. We made sure he had his cigarettes, he had his coffee, he had something to eat. Oh man, not saying two wrongs make a right, but the game had him flipped around, so it had appeared now that all the so-called men was taking care. Well, I ain't gonna say men, but all the so-called pitchers was taking care of the catchers.
Yeah, so it
Crazy.
kind of twisted back around backwards to where they would go out there and send their boys, and now they're out there hustling, trying to extort to keep their boys up to par.
Yes, exactly. Like I used to call it the old pimp game. The pimp used to say, well, if the hoe can't get it, the pimp will. That means if the hoe go out here, if she couldn't get it, then he'll go out here and get it. Same
Yep,
way.
same way, same way.
Yeah, you suck one. If you can't suck one good, then hell, I go out here and suck one good.
Yep, that's what they do. And
That's what they do.
and you could tell from Mark's characteristics and mannerisms that he was already like how you said, he was already turned out.
Oh man, you can just look at his facial expression, man. The way he told his mouth, the way he move his head, the way you can just look at his charisma. That's that type of charisma he got.
Yeah, you can. I mean, it's just there. It's obvious.
Yeah, it's there. I mean, Stevie Wonder can see that, and he's a blind man.
Side the grills and all this and that. Right? He's going to church. So after about 2 weeks go by, I see he slacked up and going to church. He's he's hanging with other guys that they fuck ass. They smoke dope. He running tattoos. I mean, if you're a Christian person or any type of person of a religion, what I'm saying, you don't hang around these type of people. What I'm saying, dealing with these type of activities. And the bitch was just fronting to try to get away from me. You know what I'm saying? Now, if he wanted to live for God, I could accept that and respect that. You know what I'm saying? But to you, God, to try to get from up under me and get away from what I wanted, you know what I'm saying? I couldn't accept that. So I seen
Yeah, that was one of his other boys. He talking about, I believe.
dormitory. So I called him. I go,
Yeah, this is the so-called Matt. The
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it wasn't Mendenhall. It's the so-called Matt. Yeah.
this was the so-called Matt where the guy went to lock up, and this is where they're sending him all the smokes and all that up to lock up, and
Hmm.
he comes back out and he tells him, hey, I want to be part of the church. And I mean, you can just see in his facial expression, he gets real mad. Look at
Oh
him.
yeah, he gets mad now the same way. That same demeanor's on his face now. This older got a great beard on him.
Yeah, because look at his mannerisms right here. Straight female.
Hmm. Yeah.
If that ain't, I mean, to me, he looks no different than Reba. I guess that's why people were confused. He got the same facial. All the people from the alphabet community, they got that that facial expression, like the deer light, the deer headlight spotlight syndrome. It's like they got that. They seem to pucker their lips. Their eyebrows seem to arch. Yeah, I think that's what it is. I mean, he just seems too feminine.
Yeah, he got the look. Regardless, though, Alabama make him say the face, but he just got that look on him. Man, look at his eyes.
Yeah, it's just and the way he smacks his lips and does his head movements.
Yeah.
going to hurt him for real. You know what I'm saying? And you have to go to the hospital. And, you know what I'm saying? He's gonna automatically have to say what happened. You know what I'm saying? So
Look at that.
He have sex with him first.
I think
One
right there.
time.
I think right there was just like his guilty conscience.
Yeah.
That was his conscience speaking to him, be like, man, do you realize what you just said?
Hmm.
Morally,
He
spiritually.
cla- he claimed that the on Fifth Avenue, he claimed that the females had coerced him to say this to him because they were looking so good, and Jonathan Schwartz, didn't make him say it, but he was like, I'm gonna go ahead and say it, to please the audience. Yeah, right.
You
You
see,
you were saying exactly what from your heart.
you see, and check this out, young blood. International Street Interview says your YB June 5th got a hold of your daughter, and it's like we don't know who Ashley Burke is. They're just
Yeah.
making up names and
Oh
characters,
yeah.
and
That's all they're doing.
see, and
That's all.
this
That's all they're doing.
and that's all they do, and they're blamed. They're always like, uh, you're the one doxing. You're doxing people. I haven't seen nobody's address up here. If I see somebody's address up here, I block it off and I kick him out. I don't I don't I
That's
don't
it.
I don't post nobody's
Yeah.
address up here. So it's
Yeah.
odd.
Break. Yeah, like I'm saying, if they got in touch with these people, bring these people up on the panel or whatever. You bring the evidence you have.
Yeah, and see, they're always talking about views and subscribers, and it's like all your views and subscribers are botted. I can you see, the thing is that the longer we go at this, young blood, you know, it's financially
Uh-huh.
hurting him, because he has to keep up the charades.
Oh
He
yeah.
has, he has to keep up with supporting the bots, the monthly payment. Them Streamlabs and them Stream bots,
Yeah.
it's a monthly payment. So, okay, now
Yes.
you ain't making as much money as you were before, So now if you're going to continue to keep up the charades, we're going to continue to, you know, your videos ain't making that much money to begin with. So
No.
I don't know how you're going to continue making up the charade. You're going to end up, it's that saying, you're going to end up have to steal you're going to have to steal from Paul to pay Peter. So it doesn't make sense. You're
Yeah.
basically have to be taking your own money out of your own pocket to keep your charades going instead of coming out and
Yeah.
saying, you know what, man, I messed up.
Yeah. Or either he gonna have to double up on them pizza deliveries.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just tell them people instead of they buying one pizza, he gonna say, look, y'all got to buy two. He got to double up on the pizza deliveries and the newspaper hustle.
Okay. International Street Interview says he never mentions you. Oh, okay, because he's a coward. He throws rocks and creates other accounts and has other people to speak for him while he controls everything like a puppet master. That's why he's the one that started all this, and he can come out and stop it by saying, you know what, guys, I apologize publicly. I humiliated y'all. I tried my best to try to intimidate y'all. I'm sorry. I'm gonna continue back to doing what I was doing, my content. You know, he can stop it. He
Yeah.
can. The power is within him to say, you know what, man, I effed up. I was trying to hold everybody else accountable, even Noel. I was trying to hold everybody accountable except myself.
Yeah. And see, Dante just gonna drain him dry because it's not costing him. That's why Dante is the puppet master. He's the one that's pulling the strings.
Exactly. So if just because he's not directly coming out and saying it doesn't mean he's all these doxing, all these people's addresses, all these trying to find people's relatives, uh that's a waste of energy because all you're looking is for negativity. I don't got time to consume me with negativity and bring people that are irrelevant to the documentary.
Yeah.
Go bring William Burnett, go bring Reba,
Yeah.
go bring the boy that he was guiding into the hump. Go bring somebody with substance and value, then I'll be like, hey, yeah, we can interview this guy. But as far as character, family, all it is going to do is just bring a character. We already know their character. You know, I,
That's it, man.
the perfect example
And,
was Mendenhall's ex-wife when she came on
mm-hmm.
here. Right now, I should play the part of the grandma. The grandma explains it a little bit more of what happened on that situation. That's why it's not good to bring character witnesses because that character came with hatred, finger pointing, and blaming and say, "Oh, it wasn't me. It wasn't me." But the way the grandma described it in this footage makes it seem like, hey, both of them were trying to point the finger at each other.
Yes,
I'm,
yes,
I'm,
exactly. And then Mendenhall's sister come on on the panel. Yes, find that part with the grandmother.
okay. Look, Mark says he's about to drive to Texas and crash out. Well, shit, he better say his prayers.
See, Mark said what now?
He said Mark's about to drive to Texas and crash out.
Yeah, I bet it will. Don't drive that far. You in Alabama? Drive to Youngblood house. That's too far. Yeah.
What did
Texas. Drive
why
to Youngblood house. Save you some gas money. You're welcome.
hey, you already know, man. The first sign that you see when you step into the border of Texas, it says don't mess with Texas. That's the
Yeah, man.
first sign you see. Don't mess with
Yeah.
Texas. Because
Mm-hmm.
so enjoy your ride.
Enjoy your ride, but don't mess with it. That's it.
Mistress There goes Mistress. She's back.
What Mr. said, dude from the hump, them old died of AIDS. Oh yeah, I think he did die of AIDS. Uh, who that is? Mistress. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, I remember this one. Yeah. Yeah, I remember you, Mistress.
Look what Zeke said. Y'all better not be in cahoots with Mark Noel and try to pull a fast one on us for views and engagement for both of you. Nah, man. I can't do that, bro. Nah, Zeke. It's not about, you know, uh if we can't make content, if you that chapter lyrically is like, man, you gotta cut ties with people that do you dirty. There's no point of giving them
Yeah.
an opportunity, bring them next to you, because the first time that you stumble, they're gonna be the first ones there to kick you and keep you on the floor. They're not gonna forget that hatred in your heart and their heart. They're gonna carry that animosity towards you forever. You know, and
Yes.
it's at that point, myself, I can be like, you know what, I can try to forget and forgive and maybe do content with the guy, but the guy is a backstabber. You can't do that. It's better just to cut ties. You do you, I do me. Uh,
Yeah.
and that's the way it's supposed to be. I
Cause
can't.
see, Dante, the way he done Mark, I mean, I'm not taking up for Mark, but the way he done Mark, man, that was cold blooded. Because Mark was on his channel, and Mark, in my book, he's guilty. But the way Dante, man, wrote that dude out and done him, I mean, that's something I wouldn't do to my worst enemy.
Exactly.
That's cold blooded, man. The way he done it, man. I mean, he just actually just threw him up under the bus. Damn, if you're gonna ride with him, at least give him heads up what you're gonna do. He just threw him out, like, damn you.
Yeah, it's a it's a self preservation. He wants to self preserve. He's worried about himself. You started all this
Yeah,
stuff. It's like, we go do this together, and we're in cahoots together. And then when the shit hits the fan, and we're all in that
you
different,
better.
yeah, we're in that interrogation room. Everybody else's stomach's growling, but you're the only one eating a hamburger.
Exactly. And then I disagree with that. If he gonna ride out with Mark, man, ride on out with him.
All the
Don't
way,
throw the
man.
man up on the bus like that.
All the way.
I mean, ride with him.
A lot of people were saying that I was defending Hips. I've never defended Hips. I've never I've
No.
never I've never said Hips was in my first interview that I did with Hips. Okay, check this out, young blood. The first interview that I did with Hips, I said, man, you have any kind of PTSD, you have any mental struggles you're going through? He goes, yeah, I can't keep a female no longer than a few months, because I always try to backdoor them.
Yeah, I remember that.
So
Yeah,
so
and
what
and
is
Hip
that?
and Hips, yeah, and Hips admitted what he was. Hips admitted, that this happened to him at Holman, and he had two boys at Limestone.
Yeah,
He admitted it. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, so it's not like uh and then also Hips came out and said, man, look, y'all don't know how it feels to be vulnerable and be held down. I was held down at Holman by 6 guys. So
damn.
he explains it to you in numerous videos, and it's like, you don't understand that feeling. And I'm like, man, I can't really sympathize. I mean, I'd be like, damn, I can just imagine being held down. You got 6 dudes. You got 2 arms, 2 legs. I mean, if I mean, you're being held down by each of your limb. You're vulnerable. I mean, you're past vulnerable,
Yeah,
man. What's gonna happen is gonna
yeah,
happen.
yeah. And
So
if for people like that, man, I would say, that happened to him unwillingly. You know,
exactly.
he wasn't a willing participant. Now, someone that's willing, that's on them. All due respect. But if a guy is not willing to do that, Come on, man. You don't force yourself on someone like that. You know that's just not right.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't because
No.
poor old Hips. You know, when I first reached out to him, he didn't want to do this type of stuff. He's like, look, man, I want to leave that stuff alone. Uh, I'm 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 in a relationship right now. I got a 9 to 5. I really don't want to relive that type of stuff. So,
Yeah.
but in the way, I think he was still struggling with his substance abuse and in the way he's like, man, heck, it is what it is. He came out and
Yeah.
he told the story.
Yeah, because that's why he would get so angry. And everybody was saying that Hips is a racist. He is that. But hell, put yourself in his shoes. I mean, if Hips if he was a black guy and 6 white guys done it to him, hell, how would you feel? You know, I'm
Yeah,
surprised he was that lenient toward Mark.
yeah,
I'd be like, man, now damn all of you some bitches for real. Like I told a guy at St. Clair one time, I say a man can lose a lot of things, but it's one thing he can lose that he can never get back, and that's his manhood.
yeah,
He can never get that back.
yeah. And what people don't realize is that that's what Hips is living through right now.
Oh
His
yeah,
his trauma and the PTSD. It's I don't know, man. I mean, like I said it from the beginning, man. I've never doxed anybody. I know, I know, I know that camp over there has wished everything upon me that another enemy. Even though he sees me as an enemy, uh, I guess I've had real enemies, and I can't really say. Now that I separate the internet, it's like you know he's not worth me, you know, doing anything serious. So it's like, is he really my ops? You know, no. In a way, if I separate the stuff, no. But in a way, he publicly humiliated me. Uh, in a public apology is old.
yes, I see what Zeto's saying. Zeto, why can't you both go on this live? Well, once you see that someone has drawn their conclusion to stay on the same topic that they're on, no, man. If you don't have the wherewithal, man, to you be your way and to me be mine.
Yeah, that's the only way. I mean, I try to give him the benefit. You
Only
see,
way.
I try to give him the benefit of the doubt. He started backtracking with these messages. These messages ain't mine. These messages ain't from my phone. Uh, these messages are not mine. So now it's like, how can you sit in the room where this character is not going to hold up to his end of the bargain? He's not going to hold up to his word. His word doesn't mean nothing.
Yeah, it's like spoofing the phone. They know how to do all that stuff, man.
I think. Well, I think you were the one that said you had the 3 hour unedited version that you picked up from the convenience store.
And never showed it. I think she the one that had the DVD from 30 years ago, and hell,
And held on to it.
hell, I got a few. Yeah, I got some DVDs I had a couple of years ago. They don't even play now.
Yeah. Oh, see, uh, where Joe, what's his name? God Soldier. God Soldier came on here in the live earlier, and he's the one that said, hey, June 5th said that those text messages were fake and that he don't have that number no more, and so and so, and I guess God Soldier, he goes back and forth. He goes back and forth. If they do a live, he goes back and forth, and God Soldier,
Yeah,
a lot of people might think he's a bad dude, or he's a uh Man, if you look, if you past his outer shell, him being drunk and him smoking and him talking, he means good, man.
Yeah,
He
he just relaying to you what it's saying on the live. So he have his right to go on whoever live he wants to. No one is
yeah,
committed to one live.
nah, he's that. So that's why I've never held or expected my subscribers to be like, hey, don't go over there. Don't check them out. Nah, man. I'm not that type of guy to alienate people and be like, oh, don't go. No, no. That's why I understand because God Soldier was like, man, they're doxing over there. They were doxing. And I kept on telling them to stop, please doing that. And he's doing that out of his heart, man, because that's not even his address.
Yeah, yeah,
So even through people might clown him and be like, oh, God Soldier, I can see past all that, and I can see for what he is. He's somebody that he's entertained, but at the same time he sees the personal addresses going out there, doxing, putting accounts of people's uh relatives or friends
yeah,
as
yeah.
trolls.
That's it. Yeah, and that's just childish. Putting people out. Bringing people in that's not even involved in this. This
Yeah,
documentary is about Lamarck Moore
yeah,
and what he said. He's guilty or he's not. That's all it is.
yeah.
This
But
whole documentary about Lamarck Moore and JG.
this guy, Zed says, why June 5th look drowsy all the time? Can y'all let me know his lure? I asked him last night. He ain't answering.
He looked drowsy because he probably was on that short bus.
Oh yeah. See, Luke Duke said Audio Pope said he debunked the Dante messages.
He debunked him. Okay.
He says Dante trying to get off shadow ban.
He can't. What he said, man, no one ever forget that, man.
Yeah, it's kind of, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't be really saying that type of stuff.
No, man. You know, the, what he said out on that, man, that what made me change from just even watching him. When he made that statement, who gives a damn what a black man does to a white guy? I mean, oh man, I'm not gonna listen to this shit no more. I got to go. I
Yeah,
don't even, I have hid his whole segment. Well, it won't even pop up no more.
exactly. You see, Rita, she's been keeping up, man, and because she's like Mark always from the beginning. He's always said he even got mad. He's like, I don't know why Hips is even talking about it. He wasn't even supposed to be in the documentary. That documentary was supposed to be about me, and it was. I think once he reached out to Jonathan Schwartz and he told him about his story. Uh, but see, Charles also told me that he had an uncle. I don't know if his uncle. He said his uncle's name was Ronnie Boo Moore.
Yeah, like I said earlier, man, it was a couple of Moors there, and the ones that was there was off into that too. But I just can't remember their names, man. It was like three of them.
Oh, but check this out. Check this out too, young blood. His dad's name. It's like Mark carried his mother's maiden name. He didn't carry his father's last name because his father goes by a totally different last name.
So that means that probably they wasn't married when he was conceived.
Exactly. So Ronnie Brew Moore is probably his uncle from his mother's side.
Yes, exactly. So he got his mother's maiden name.
Yes, because I'm like, his father's going over here by. I mean, let's see if I can see his father. If I can put a video of his father, where it shows his
Yeah,
father.
and I know he missed his father. I mean, I know he would love for his father to be in his life, and hopefully that would happen. Because at this point now, he probably needs his father in his life.
Yeah, man. I've always said this, man. If the dude can get some kind of closure with his people, his mom, his parents, his loved one, his daughter, if he can repair
Yeah,
this, but he's. I mean, don't come up in here on basically national TV and say I didn't do none of that stuff. And
yeah, exactly.
dealt with
Let me see if I can find this.
So I was blind about all that. There was no man in the house was him growing up. So he was around a bunch of ladies. Mother signed him off to his great grandmother, and she had control of him. That boy never, not one weekend went by that he came stay with me. That
Oh, so
great grandmama
you heard what his
come to
dad
my
said?
house as soon as we got him.
Yeah, I hear.
He said his mom sent him off to his great grandmother's. So
Yeah. So that was mom's mother who raised him.
yeah, so I mean that Ronnie Boo Moore could be his uncle or great uncle. I mean, I it's just kind of weird because I showed Hips the picture. He goes, yeah, that's his uncle, and the picture looks. I'm gonna send you the picture, and 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 and,
Okay.
and, and you see if you've seen him before. You know, he's a heavy set guy.
Okay.
You know, he sort of looks like Mark, but he passed away like in 2016 something. But I showed Hips the picture, and
Okay.
he's like, yeah, that's his uncle. But you know, Hips, sometimes
Okay.
Hips be lying too.
I know.
Let me get that part where his grandma talks.
Very controlling. I couldn't talk to nobody. Couldn't go anywhere without either him being there or something said about it. Anyway, he brought it to me. Right. I definitely cried. Like many nights I remember walking back to my dorm.
See, like right now, I'm getting calls from a private number.
Okay.
I don't answer private phone calls, especially this late at night.
Yeah. That's probably some type of crazy number calling you or something.
Yeah, I don't.
After they cleared the count, and I'd cry on the way. You know, ask myself, how would I get into this? You know, and sometimes I'd ask God, how could how could this happen? Because it's something at the time I don't understand at all.
It's going on 6 years now. You know, we're not to say whether he did or whether he did not. The Lord, 6 years, God, ought to be long enough. God, 6 years, Lord, ought to be enough time. They moved in here and before the baby came, and they had it furnished nice, and they had everything the baby could possibly want. The church now gave him a beautiful shower, and everything seemed to be going great, but he would just work to death. And young, he was only 18. We believe in God and protection, and we and had churches, everyone praying for him, and always they'd pray for him at church. If a baby would cry at church, start to cry, well, she'd hear David hand her over to him. When he gets up, well, he picked the baby up and he got up. I guess he, with his back turned to the wall and only about a foot space between them. Uh, see, we had this side, this bed sitting down inside of water bed, big frame, and he gets up on the back side and not very much space between him and the wall there. And I guess he bumped it. He says, Grandmother, he hardly knew what happened because he was half awake and all. But he bumped himself, kind of lost his balance. He threw the baby back on the bed. And she had thrown the covers back. When he got up, he threw them back, and it landed on the covers and just rolled right on off. And when he saw what was happening, he's fast. He grabbed for the baby and got it with a little leg, but it had already, by that time, it was far enough down and hit that frame was sitting down on, but all of it was on the floor at the time, and hit his little head. and it had such a beautiful head of dark hair, and you couldn't see anything was wrong with it. It just had a little bruise on the cheek, was the only sign you could see where it was hurt. They brought it against him as child abuse and murder. First, and then they called it murder.
I didn't have enough years of time and knowledge under my belt to be a father and be uh, really supportive and foresee things coming and know what to do about it to shape a young person's life. To really be the pillar that I should have been.
Now my son is 18 and married, with a baby on the way. Half asleep, too tired to think. An accident occurred. Now the baby's dead and the charges are red. Murder in the first degree. Now my son's in prison. Wish I could set him free.
Well, when you're first coming in, that's what it makes you feel like. It makes you feel like that your life's on the line. That's the kind of positions they put you in.
Hey, young blood.
Yeah, go ahead.
What's YB said? Young blood, based on how you knew Mark then, do you think he's still an active predator today?
Well, from the medical perspective, it said that they have to go through treatment. And if he haven't been through treatment, and I'm a firm believer in that, then more than likely he probably is, unless he goes through treatment. It's like having an addiction. I'm a firm believer that if you coming off any type of addiction, whether it's alcohol or any type of drugs, some people can go cold turkey and be successful, but that's very slim. It's like a heroin addict. You know, Majority you can go online and you can see from facts that majority of heroin addicts they never fully recover unless they actually seek that professional help, and they have to change people, places, and things in order for that sobriety to be upon them.
Yes. I mean, you gotta admit your wrongs. If you're still in denial, if you're still in denial,
Yes,
that's a big part. Especially coming on
and
social
that's
media.
that first. Yes, and see, and that's that first step. Um, I don't consider myself a guru for Alcoholic Anonymous, but that first step it stands with all the treatments, whether it's AA, CA, NA, or SA. You have to admit that you're powerless over whatever addiction that controls your life. And you can make all other steps, but if you don't make that first step, hey man, it's a dead end.
It is. It is.
Yes, the most powerful, that's the most strongest and effective step you can make. Admit that you're powerless over whatever caused you to do these type things.
This guy
And,
said, I
and,
think
and some people are successful with doing that, but you have to make. See, it's easy to say that you go to your higher power and make these amendments, but that's like a scapegoat. Sometimes you have to publicly admit these things. And until then, man, it's just like a down sparrow. You just spiraling down, man. You just waiting to commit the same crime. If he was to go in, would he revert back to the same things? Probably consequences was keeping him from doing it now. In there, it wasn't those type consequences. Out here, if he was to go out here and force himself on someone, that would be consequences. In there, the consequences, yeah, but like you say, he can pay a lieutenant off and keep on going.
yeah, and I don't be watching their videos, man, but a lot of subscribers have been saying that June 5th over there be cussing and yelling at his little kid, man.
Well, he yells, man. I mean, that's his. I think that's his personality, man. He has some. He said that he grew up in he went to private school and more like his religion, and not speaking down on any religion and like that, but he was in Catholicism, a Catholic,
Uh,
and majority of them have to go to the priest and admit they're wrong. And he probably just one angry kid. Cause look at how he's talking about his mother. And when you have a male figure, especially the male figure that talks bad about the mother, hey man, I mean, what you going to expect? How he going to do others? You know,
yeah, man, you never talk about your mother or father, man.
he speaks bad about his mother, man. You know, that's terrible.
Yeah, especially the woman that carried you in her stomach for 9 months, and
Yes.
she could have gone to the toilet and she decided and just flushed you away. It's
Yeah,
sad.
and yeah, and with him, the way he acts now, his mother probably wish she would have flushed him.
Yeah, that's sad.
I would.
Yeah, 'cause how can talk bad about your mom or even at the end of the day they say she was in the wrong. At the end of the day, she's still your mom, and even if she's wrong, she's right. So it's
So
like
your mom.
I can't
Exactly.
I don't know how they would like say I'm 40 something years old, and the female that can still slap me around is my mom. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, yeah,
I don't
and
understand.
that, yeah, and that's the difference that a mother and a father, because a mother, she won't flush your ass down the toilet, but a father, he'll send your ass trucking on down the sewage where you belong.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
And if he was a son of mine, I'd have flushed him a long time ago.
Nope. It says he hasn't. He had. It's sad.
Kind of threats come. I've been told that
Mm.
I'd be on TV. You know, my folks would see me on TV, dead. Murdered in Limestone Penitentiary.
Wow.
I've had my life threatened a few times.
David Jr. was real close to the breaking point. At one time, he called me, and he was nearly to a nervous breakdown, and he wasn't able to eat and keep it on his stomach. And he'd had a, a homosexuals there and so forth. And he was afraid to go to the authorities because they had threatened him, and he didn't know what to do. So he called me, and I called a lieutenant immediately, and it moved David to a cell to himself. He didn't have a cell; he had to be out in the public with everybody. But they put him in a cell to protect him like that, and they moved him from that dorm to another place. So David was recuperated and was much happier.
I hope that those kind of experiences, uh, being pimped out and the homosexual activity and such as that he's had to deal with in there. I hope that's something that when he gets out, he can put behind him, uh, not have to talk about it or bring it up, and just let it die in his past, and kind of start fresh from day one when he gets out, and create a new respectable life.
Because I never had
Wow.
say
Man, that's
own it.
that you know that that is something, man, for a father to say something had to happen to this guy at a young age,
Yep.
because I just can't, and not speaking bad upon his father, nothing, but I just can't see a father speaking like that about his son coming out, because I would be terrified behind something like that if that would have happened to my son. I would
Yeah.
be raising holy hell about my son being a victim to this madness that went on. Maybe he's different, but I just can't grasp that part where he says being effed out, and maybe he'll leave that alone, leave that behind him. That's graphic.
Yeah. And also, if I don't want to play. After this, yeah, it's Menderhouse. he starts talking about what happened to him, and and there was a relative, and his dad, his dad was like nonchalant, was like, he told me about it, but he didn't tell me to stop it either. So it was almost like,
Yeah, I think that was his Uncle Jimmy or something. One of his uncles, probably his dad brother, was doing something to him, but he didn't take the initiative to investigate on what was going on. He just brushed it up under the damn rug,
yeah,
and he should have listened to his son.
yeah, even and he said that Mendenhall, he didn't bring it up. He told them about it, but he didn't tell them to make it stop or any of that type of stuff. So the dad was like, I almost feel like the dad was like, I guess he liked it in some type of way, and that he
Yeah,
he he didn't tell me to stop. So I don't know.
yeah, he thought that was wrong.
But see, if you heard
A
Mendenhall,
kid like that, man. Go ahead.
no, because if you heard Mendenhall, he said it happened around 6 years old.
Yeah. So a kid that's 6 years old, man. If you look at your uncle or your father doing something to you like this, hell, you think this type of child's play is normal.
Yeah,
Just a 6-year-old kid. He think this type foolishness is normal. The same thing when Mark said that someone done him like that. One of his family members betrayed him at a young age.
yeah, it had to be a male.
Yeah, had to be. And he thought that was normal because he admitted that he liked turning boys out.
Yep. I mean,
Out and the homosexual activity and such as that he's had to deal with in there. I hope that's something that when he gets out, he can put behind him, uh, not have to talk about it or bring it up, and just let it die in his past, and kind of start fresh from day one when he gets out, and create a new respectable life.
Because I never had a father. You know what I'm saying? But I always wanted a father. I like turning that. As far as being turned out already, especially by family members, I kind of felt sympathy for him.
I was probably about 6.
you know, uh, because I don't want to play the other part.
Wow.
The other part is just like Mendenhall tells his story. And, even because it's a touchy subject. Some people, some person put it in the comment, man. We're like, what if that person is still around kids, and if he was doing it back then to Mendenhall, when Mendenhall, what's the possibility of other young kids being around the same person, and that person didn't get in trouble for it, and you got
Yeah.
Mendenhall here, saying that did happen to him. So it's
Yes, and this was this was going on. This is why you have to bring that awareness about, man. Awareness has to be made because this happened. We would think it happened to little girls, but it happened into little boys as well, and we see this. And what this does is just make that cycle repeats itself, goes
yeah,
on and on. The predator putting this on the prey grows up, it becomes a predator, and the cycle continues.
yeah, right. I think
It's
tomorrow
sad.
I think tomorrow we'll touch up on that, young blood.
Oh yeah, sound good, man. Sound good, man. Well, I'm finna
You have
watch me a little news, see about this weather, and you have a good night, man. And to the guests and the hosts, we appreciate y'all, man. And I'll be out.
yeah, y'all have a good night, man. Y'all stay tuned to the next one. Y'all stay blessed and have a good night. Good night, young blood.
Okay, bro. Bye bye.